Hi guys, I want to make another video. Um, yeah, I'm actually quite tired now. Um, yeah, I've just been doing a lot of school stuff. I just started my master in linguistics, and I have 5 courses. So I have uh, this yeah I have like one obligatory course, um, which is about a lot of historical stuff in linguistics, and then I have a semantic theory course, and also have a more formal theory course, which I think I will drop out from because I have a little bit too many things to do right now. And then I also have a programming course. So I mean programming in R, which is used for statistics in linguistics, and it could also be useful for work later. So it's uh, it's a little it's it's a little bit interesting to learn, just to see how programming is, and it can be useful for work. So and then I also have a course in a philosophy course called actually I don't know how to translate it in to English, but it's about how to how do you know knowledge? How can you what is knowledge, and how do you know that you have knowledge? Uh, Epistemology, empiricism, and those kind of things. That's the main subject of the course. So we started with Descartes, and then went on to other philosophers. And yeah, I just have that because I'm interested in it. Also, I had some philosophy courses aside from my bachelor. Uh, so I been enjoying philosophy a lot, and I don't think I have that many courses left to complete philosophy bachelor. So that's something I would like to do um, if I can. But right now I'm doing a lot of stuff. I don't think I will choose as many courses next semester because I'm gonna focus on preparing for my uh, master thesis, and I want to relax a little bit. So yeah, just um, yeah. So I only have one. I only have to take 2 courses next semester. Uh, so I'll probably maybe take like 2 or 3 and focus on my master thesis, which is going to be about a Chinese dialect that I'm also learning. So so right now, when it comes to language, I'm learning quite a lot in learning Chinese standard Mandarin, which I learned for over a little bit over 2 years, um, and that's going fine. I can talk, uh, about normal things, but there still is like so many words I don't know. The grammar is not that complicated, so not struggling that much with that. Yeah, and also learning a dialect which is called Nantong Hua. It's a Nantong Chinese dialect, which is a dialect from the eastern shore of China, close to Shanghai. So and I also started learning Korean. So I just started learning Korean on Sunday actually, and today is Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. So um, so I started learning Korean just as an interest because I like Korean dramas. I think they're very, very interesting about life, and yeah, like people, just everyday things, and I'm interested in the culture, so it's cool to learn more of that. And also it's very nice to learn the Hangul, or yeah, however it's pronounced, because it's a very easy alphabet, especially compared to Chinese. Like Chinese is thousands and thousands and thousands of characters that you have to recognize when you read, and they're also linked to the speaking, because yeah, love a lot of the same, a lot of different meanings can have, even the same pronouns, even the same tone as well. So then you have to look at the character, or you just have to understand the context. So and then it's easier to learn the characters that way, but it takes a really long time to learn all the characters. I don't know how many characters I know I'm able to recognize now, but maybe like 1,000 or 2,000 something. But um, yeah, it's very difficult, and the Hangul is just a combination of phonetic stuff, which is very systematic. Similar to alphabet, Latin alphabet. So yeah, doesn't have a problem with that. So I think learning Korean will be easier, and I'm gonna try to find some people to talk to, some Koreans to talk to soon. I already found one actually that lives in China, and he can speak Chinese, uh, and he's Korean as well. So, but yeah, like you can see, I'm quite tired now, and but I feel good. I feel good. Just I've been a little bit worried about some things lately. Um, some personal stuff. Not about me, but about yeah, my girlfriend, and other people around me that I'm worried about. Um, but it's not too bothersome. Although I do have some nightmares. I actually had a nightmare last night, and I I don't want to talk too much details about it, but I actually woke up, and I screamed. It was like, felt very terrifying. Uh, Someone I know that was going to get killed or something like that. So it's so yeah. I feel I notice I feel a little bit worried about things. A little bit afraid of some things lately, which is something that I'm trying to understand right now. I wasn't that aware of it before. Um, and yeah, what else? Except that, I've been doing a lot of exercise every day, especially core exercise. So I love planking and push-ups and squats and stuff like that. So uh, very very strong now, very strong. Yeah. Hmm. Very strong. Feel generally very good. Just a little bit tired lately, so I think I need some break. Uh, yeah, I will take a break in the next weekend at least. Mm. Yeah, maybe tomorrow I'll go for a walk in the forest, or go for a run or something like that. It'd be good for me. Mm. And then I haven't paid attention to this game. Uh, yeah, but I saw that Somi came back, and I don't know if he's gonna watch this video, but I think it's very cool. Um, I think Somi is was one of my role models. No, yeah. When I think about it, I think I have mainly I think my role models in RuneScape is like Suomi, and then I think it was Akan a little bit, while I was doing Slayer, Akan, and then there's Jabrim, right before I started playing old school RuneScape, I watched Jabrim's videos, and I thought it was interesting about the agility stuff, um, and um, and then I think Acid Soul, is very cool, and also Link's Titan a little bit later on, but yeah, I think I remember early on I was kind of like had some mixed feelings about Link's Titan, but after I get to know him a little bit, and I thought he was a very nice guy. So um, and yeah, what else? Yeah, okay, I guess I could also talk about other role models, like yeah, because that's kind of interesting topic. Like I have one of my role models is these, and Acid Soul is also like a role model in linguistics because he's actually the reason I chose to do a bachelor in linguistics and go in that direction. I was always interested in language, of course, and the more nerdy stuff about language, but yeah, because linguistic is just it's not learning languages. You're just learning how to analyze completely new languages that nobody has seen before, and do detailed descriptions of their grammar and stuff like that, and also some theoretical analysis based on what universal what's universal for all languages. But there's also a lot of different fields, in linguistics, so it's a very general thing. But yeah, it's a lot of those kind of stuff that you learn in linguistics. For those people that might not know linguistics very well, um, so learning Chinese is just kind of a hobby. I haven't studied it in school, except I studied like 1 year. I thought it was actually slow to study in school, so I think it's faster to learn myself and more fun. Um, yeah, the only thing is that if I don't have it in school, then I'm not as obligated, to spend that much time on it. But I'm still spending decent time on it every day, so it's not a big deal. I will learn it. Learn how to speak fluently eventually. And I'm also thinking about going to China to study next year after the summer. That's something I would very much like to do if like the corona or some epidemic, if there's no big epidemic problem, but I am fully vaccinated. I got fully vaccinated a while ago, um, in early September, and now it's already early October. So, and yeah, I had some reaction to the second dose. Like the day after, especially the day after, it was I didn't feel good, uh, and yeah, it's quite painful, but it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Um, yeah, like it's. I was definitely struggling to sleep, and felt very frustrated uh, one day after the vaccine. But after that, it started to get better again, and yeah, and I went a little bit off topic now. I was talking about role models. So as it's all is one big role model, in both RuneScape and linguistics. But then, although RuneScape is not relevant anymore, um, another another role model is Wim Hof. He, both the breathing method and cold showers, and cold baths, ice baths, and stuff like that. Uh, it's a great thing. Hmm. I really love it. I think the breathing is good for making more, training to be more conscious, and feels very good, stuff like that. And the ice bath, I think, is good for a lot of reasons. Uh, but what's the main reason I would do ice bath or uh, ice shower? I guess it's just because it feels good. It just feels very good after you do it. Feel relaxed. That's the main reason I like doing it. But I can definitely notice it's healthy, and I also I also like just going outside wearing a t-shirt, not caring about how cold it is. In Norway it can get quite cold, but I get used to it very quickly, especially if you take ice cold showers every day. So just accept that it's cold and it's fine. It's not a problem. Um, yeah, so Wim Hof is a big role model for me lately. I think it's interesting in a lot of ways. Also a little bit, he's a little bit like crazy personality, but I like him. Um, and who else is my role model? Like, let me think. I have a role model in Chinese as well. Like, I know one of my teachers. He's kind of like been in China on and off for 15 years, and his Chinese is very good. So I got some inspiration from him. Uh, who else? Like, yeah, I mean, I probably have some other role models, but a little bit tired now to uh, remember which ones. Yeah, it's not the best time to make a video right now because I'm not tired, not 100% mental state. I'll probably go to sleep right after this, but I was just kind of in the mood to make a video, just get out some feelings, and that's mainly the reason or the purpose for me to make videos is I just enjoy expressing myself, and it can be interesting to look back, especially after some years. It's could be interesting to look back at it. Uh, I think in my last video I had a lot of problems. Um, like a friend of me actually said that no fap thing is weird. I don't think it's weird. I'm still doing no fap. I think pornography is very uh, evil. For I don't know, like not the best word. It's not evil, but it's I think it's not good for the mind. Not good for the mind, whatever that means. Um, I think it's not good for the mind. Same reason cheating on your wife is not good for your mind. Um, yeah, but the reason why they're both not good, I think it's the same reason. Pornography and porn. I mean pornography and Uh, yes, but sorry, I'm tired now. But pornography, pornography and cheating is they're both bad for the same reason, but it's very hard to come up with the right word for that reason. That's like I can't think of like a very good English word immediately. No. Yeah. Anyways, hmm. It's somehow not good for the mind and body. I would say I think the reason is complicated. But I think one of the reasons that those things are not good is that you're just kind of looking for a high. So um, I guess you can also generalize that to even more things if you want. Like you can generalize it to drugs and to maybe to some video games that are very addicting and that you get you high or low or high low or maybe some maybe like some junk food you know it's things that are not good for your both not good for your body and it also makes you up and down so it gives you a high and then it goes down. I don't think being I don't think like looking for highs or in general is really good thing. I think it's better to be generally like stable and being kind of high on a stable level, always being high. Um, yeah, so, sorry if I'm expressing myself in a weird way. It's just because I'm tired yeah, and I've just been doing like so many things, a little bit overworked past, especially the past week. But I mean, I do enjoy some intense working sessions sometimes. As long as I can take some breaks from it, then it's fine. I like being a bit busy in some periods, but then I also want to take some breaks. It's a little bit similar to I guess doing some records. In your escape, you play like 20 hours a day, for 1 week or 2 weeks, and then you take a break. It's a little bit like that. I remember I did thieving, pyramid plunder. I remember I think it was like over 36 million in 1 week or something. And yeah, I played 20 hours a day. Um, and I like that. I like going a little bit hard sometimes. But I'm not sleep depriving myself now. I just had a little bit. Uh, yeah, just a little bit too many things to do. But sleep has been fine in general. Although I would like to sleep. I would like to sleep a little bit earlier, wake up earlier. I had some problems with it. Um, Now I think I just need to get used to new environment. New environment here is there's some lights here that they don't turn off, before a little bit too late, and they there might be some people making noises. Uh, but in the long term, we'll be fine because gonna I'm going to move back to my girlfriend in no yeah in November, like 30th November. I'm gonna move back to my girlfriend because I lived in Oslo now for uh, yeah, like 1.5 months. Not actually much less than that, much less than that actually, because I just visited my girlfriend for 3 weeks. Uh, so I really only been in Oslo for like 4 weeks or something. Um, so far. So I'm only gonna be in Oslo in total for like 3 months, and then yeah, then go back to my girlfriend's place and just live there. She's actually I don't want to say too many things about her, in a public video, but she's basically just she's just like a China. She's from China, from the Nantok place that I'm going to write a master thesis about, and she works here in Norway. She has a very intense job as a PhD. Yeah, she's a little bit older than me, but I actually looks younger, much younger than me. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. But she's very cool, very smart, nice person, um, and yeah, like yeah, I guess I should also say what I have done since the last video, because I don't think that much about the things I already done, you know, a lot, but yeah, I guess what happened is that I had some problems living with my girlfriend, before the summer, and like the reason for that is, I think it's mostly my problem. I think it was very hard to adapt to Corona. You know, yeah, there's so many like things I couldn't do, and I had to do other things instead, and then there's other things that are not suitable, uh, not suitable for me, not good for me, and I was not able to go outside enough, and go outside enough to school, to the classrooms, and talk to people. So it was very antisocial in that period. It felt almost weird now, like going back to the classrooms, starting to talk to people again. Even if it's just a few people. I I usually just spoke to my girlfriend most of the time, and it was a very difficult period. Because we decided that we just want to be very careful about Corona. Because my girlfriend is very afraid of it. It's very normal. Uh, Very normal for Chinese people in general to be afraid of a lot of things. They're kind of, I would say they're kind of pussies compared to uh, Western Europeans in general. Yeah, they don't dare, they don't dare to take any risk, and so that's kind of like a culture shock that we don't agree on the risk evaluation thing. So that's one like kind of cultural or philosophical problem, something like that. And but we're figuring it out now, like how to live with it. And we are going back to working in office, and I'm going back to uh, studying. But I'm also, yeah, I forgot to say, I'm also working online as a Norwegian teacher, and I actually have a lot of students now. So that's another reason why I'm very busy. It's because I have so many students to work with, and I just want to make more money to spend on my girlfriend. It's not for any other things, and never hurts having a little bit extra, because I don't like the money I get from Lånekassen, or the government in Norway. It's very shit. You don't, especially like if you live in Oslo, the money you get from the Norwegian government for studying is very low. It's just enough to pay for like the rent and food, and a few other things. Yeah, and maybe not even the rent, because yeah, it's only enough to pay for the rent if you get something very cheap, like a student dorm. Like I live in a student dorm now. But a lot of people are not living in student dorms. So I'm working to make some extra money. And it's also a very nice job. It's a very flexible job, so I can like do whatever time I want, and I can also decide exactly how I want to teach. And yeah, and of course the student also. Uh, my way of teaching is basically just to try to adapt to the student as much as possible, because every student, every person is different. They have different ways of learning, because they enjoy different things, they're interested in different things, and they don't think they don't think or think completely. Uh, they don't think completely similar to each other. Some people like very systematic way of learning, like my girlfriend. But a lot of people don't like systematic ways of learning. Like more, if you like systematic learning, then school is very good. I'm also one of the people who don't like systematic learning too much. So I like just kind of like learning here and there, spontaneously from curiosity and interest. Um, yeah, so that's my preference. I think I'll probably become a researcher in the future, because I think it suits what I like to do. At least right now, suits my personality to research on language. I think. Well, I'm also interested in philosophy and some other stuff. And and yeah, I'm also writing a book now, or maybe it will be several different books actually, because I'm writing on different topics. So I don't know how to. I don't think I will combine them. I think I'll write different books, because I'm writing one book that is very different. Like a fiction story, and yeah, it's. I'm not gonna say any details about it now because it's very early, but so far I think the book is very very interesting. Um, yeah, I feel it's very creative and deep. So I just enjoy writing. It's just a good way to uh, express my own creativity and thoughts as well, uh, and feelings, all those kind of things that I'm able to express by writing quite well. Actually, I notice I'm much better at writing than listening or reading in all languages that I'm learning. Like in English, I'm like 10 times better in writing than talking, and Norwegian is like you know writing is quite a lot better than the speaking, and but I don't think it was so before, not as much. But now the writing is good, and the Chinese writing is very good, but the talking is just so, or kind of average. Uh, yeah, I don't know. It depends what you mean by average, but it's I'm able to speak generally, but a lot of words not able to understand. A lot of words I still need to learn. Uh, yeah. So that's these videos are also a way of expressing, of course, expressing feelings. And, but these videos are different from writing, because when I'm writing, it's very deep. It's very deep about philosophy, language, thoughts, and also creativity. Like yeah, I like metaphors a lot. Um, so especially in writing, because then I have time to think about what I want to write, which words fit perfectly in and in when I talk, I just kind of like to say what I feel. Um, I don't care to try to use the perfect word too much when I talk. I just want to express how I feel. Um, so so that's why the videos are more kind of like my biography. So I won't I don't think I will have a desire to write like a biography any in any future, um, because I have these videos, so I don't need to write a book about it. But I want to write a book about other stuff that I'm not making videos about, that I think is interesting and I want to express. Um, I did also think about maybe I should make some videos about philosophical topics. Uh, but then like I would prefer to talk in Norwegian and yeah, then it would just be like kind of reading up what I wrote down already anyways. Um, because in order to talk about the deep topics, it's I think it's important to be precise, so you're not easily misunderstood. Um, yeah, and yeah, so anyways, I can go back to what I did. So we had some problems. Well, especially me, like I had problems adapting to Corona, but also my girlfriend had a really difficult time. So so we went to. So I decided to go to um, like a different place to work, and I actually didn't tell her, and that was like is definitely unforgivable to do that. Um, like um, to go somewhere and then not tell the person, Uh, that's very kind of like avoiding behavior. So I hope I'll never do that again. I will never do that again. Um, those kind of avoiding behaviors. I think I just need to be happy uh, and understand that I need to be honest. I need to respect people, especially the ones I care about. But I'm trying to respect everyone, including animals and plants and everything that exists. I want to respect it and consider it, you know, as part of me and part of my life. Um, so yeah, anyways, so that wasn't the question, but the point is that I went to a different place without telling her, and that was a little bit yeah, that was not good, but it went. I think it's okay now that it happened, but I don't not gonna do that anymore. But overall it was is a good thing to do, to take a break, and yeah, because I decided to work on a farm actually. I wrote a post about it on Twitter. I went to work at the farm, and it was a very healing experience for me because I met some very nice people there, and it's just very relaxing, you know. Not for the body, no. I was actually I got very overworked, but and my body was overworked, but my mind felt in peace because I was just doing very simple stuff every day, you know, just like picking vegetables and stuff like that. Actually, sometimes I was cutting them, which is quite it's quite a dangerous job actually. But it felt like I was sort of chopping off people's heads and stuff, you know, the cabbages uh, and like a lot of people got cut. A lot of the new guys that I worked with got cut, but I actually never got cut. So I don't know if that was lucky or I was more careful. I think it's maybe a combination of I didn't feel like a very big sense of danger. I was like holding knife, and everyone else was like holding knives, you know, just cutting things very quickly and then going around each other all the time. And it is it's a very shit job in a lot of ways. You know, the payment is very bad. It's like one of the worst payments in Norway. I think in America would be, you know, close to what you call minimum wage or maybe a little bit more, and something like that. And so the payment is very bad. Uh, but I just did it for the experience, and the people there were nice. It's very international because it's only foreigners that really work those jobs. There's very few Norwegians, except some very young people. But I wanted to get the experience. I didn't want to like work as just I didn't want to work at the computer to just teach Norwegian that summer. You know, I wanted to be outside in the sunlight and enjoy the beauty as much as I could. Um, and of course, you don't have to work in Norway, but I wanted to challenge myself in a physical way. I knew that I was probably going to be overworked, and I was, but I think it was a good experience. I recommend trying it out, you know, to work just work at the farm, and I did a lot of different things. It's quite yeah, it's quite learningful. Um, so yeah, I enjoyed that. Overall, I enjoyed it a lot because it made me more in peace. Um, and around the same time, I also decided to, um, you know, to be a vegetarian. You know, basically, or like not to be a vegetarian, but you know, just not eating meat usually. I don't eat meat in general. You know, actually, it's kind of funny. Actually ate a little bit fish today, but yeah, like lately I haven't eaten any meat, just like beans and you know a lot of other kind of things like nuts and seeds and etc. Lentils or whatever they're called, you know, all that kind of things. Been going a lot to Asian stores to try different things. And just been enjoying making vegan food because I think it tastes a lot better, and also my body feels better in general. Yeah. But I think it's also okay to eat meat on a rare occasions. You know. I think also I heard there's some like B vitamin that you get from meat that doesn't exist that much in uh, in vegetables or any seeds and stuff like that. Yeah, because there's a lot of different B vitamins, and there's like one B vitamin, like I think it's like B12 or something that don't exist much. You can get a supplement for it, but I don't like supplements, so I just usually um, eat meat or if I buy almond milk, then I do that. So I do that on very rare occasions, but I haven't drinking any almond milk lately. Uh, just been eating in a very cheap way lately. So usually some like rice stuff with chickpeas or like some lentils, red lentils, or some beans and peanuts and vegetables, different vegetables, stuff like that. It's and my noodle soup is is really good as well. Um, it's actually the best noodle soup I ever eaten. I'm into China. Uh, I was eating some decent noodle soups here in Oslo. Then I think the best soups are in China, but I think my soup is better than the Chinese soup. And I think the main reason for it is the ingredients, and then they don't have those authentic Chinese food in Oslo that is done really well. And I also think there's too many noodles in the Chinese soup, so they don't they do the way they make it is very good, but so I kind of copy the way they make it, the noodle soup. But I just take less noodles and I add more more vegetables, more mushrooms, and maybe some tofu or some other stuff. Just and those things add a lot more flavor. So makes it a lot more rich of soup. Tastes very good. I think in general the Chinese food is extremely good, but they eat way too much. Like rice and noodles and stuff like that. It's the amount is just absurd, in my opinion. So I just just add a lot more vegetables and then all the stuff, and then I just have a little bit of noodles, not too much, you know. And yeah, that's so I really love that noodle soup. I also make pizza sometimes. It's not too great because it's a little bit too much cheese and stuff. Hmm. Yeah. I guess that's also not vegan. I don't eat much cheese or eggs. I don't drink that much milk, but uh, I don't I don't consume a lot of it. But I do like eggs sometimes. Yeah, um, sometimes. But lately I haven't eaten many eggs. Yeah. Um, so I just kind of eat what I feel like. I feel it tastes good and it's good for my body. The most important thing is good for my body because uh, yeah, and it's I think healthy food tastes good in general. Uh, so so what else? Like yeah, so yeah, so I talked about yeah, I was going vegetarian at the time, and I went to the farm and went for peaceful, and then yeah, I also finished my bachelor, and yeah, I only had like one course of my bachelor left, and I did a kind of philosophy course and stuff, and then I came back to my girlfriend, yeah, and I lived there until beginning of the semester, and then it was really good, living with her. So most of the problems, like the internal problems was not so much, but the external problems still existed because we're still with each other all the time. But now she started working, so now I'm going to the office, so a lot of the problems are fixed again. Because you need some private space and not be with each other too much. So after the semester started, the problems are mostly good. I'm mostly fine to deal with. But so that's not the reason I went to Oslo. I just went to Oslo to meet more people and to be in the classrooms because I'm vaccinated and yeah, just like study in real life. Because I think studying in person in Zoom is really terrible, and I think Oslo is also nice for some other reasons. Like I like, for example, all the all the different foreign stores. I really like foreign food. Just I'm in general like a person very curious about foreign cultures, foreign language, foreign food, everything like that. You know, I don't just like Asian food or Chinese food. I really like Middle Eastern food. You know, especially. I think Middle Eastern food is also very delicious, and Indian food is good. Um, and I think that African food can be good sometimes, but I think in general it seems not as good as the Middle Eastern food. Um, and then I think the food I'm the least I think the food that I have the least knowledge of is the South American food. Uh, pretty much I know, like, tacos, and that's kind of very normal stuff, but I don't know, the details about how they actually eat there. I know chilies from there. They have a lot of different chilies. I've tried a lot of those different chilies, but I don't know exactly how they make the authentic food there. So I'll be interested in to go into South America sometimes because I feel like that's the um, place I know the least about. I've never been to America. I haven't been to North America or South America. But I've been to Asia. China at least. And I guess you could say I've been to Africa because I've been to Egypt, and I guess you could also say I've been to Middle East a little bit because I've been to Turkey. Um, but I haven't been to South America or North America. So once Corona is over, maybe that's the next target. But not in the short term because I think at least after December next year, I will want to go to China because it's related to my master thesis and to get more fluent in speaking Chinese. Um, it's very easy to learn language if you live in the country, obviously. Um, yeah, you will learn it very quickly. Mm. So that's goals. And then yeah, so that's why I went to Oslo, and the reason I'm gonna come back is just because my girlfriend misses me a lot, and I also miss her. So it's equal that we both miss each other a lot. Uh, not like I can't live without her or something like that. Of course not. I don't think I will ever be like someone like that. I just appreciate her a lot as a person. I think she's great. So, um, and it's very fun to talk with her. So, I want to I want to go back there for at least a bit over half a year. Also planning to travel a bit around Norway during that time. Um, yeah, thinking a little bit more Western Norway. It's quite beautiful sceneries there. So that's the main reason. Um, yeah, so that's. I think I covered the most of the things now. It's already quite a long video. So I think I'll just take it there. It's also very late. Yeah, I'm almost like slurring my voice. You know, it's not because I'm high. It's just I'm just very tired, and for some reason I was just feeling like expressing myself, feeling like making a video at this moment before sleeping. So that's why I did it. Yeah. So yeah, you know, it's really random when I make these videos. You know, I have kind of like a plan to make them. You know, for like 2 months, and then all of a sudden, the same day I just decide like, oh yeah, this day, and now I'll make a video, and then I'll just do it. So it's a very spontaneous thing for me to make videos. I don't think I ever planned a video and then actually did it, like very strictly. Yeah, but yeah, well, stop it from now. Hmm, stop it from now. There's definitely more things to talk about, but it's just getting too late, and it's long enough. Definitely quite a long video. So anything else I want to say? Hmm. No, I don't. I don't think so. Um, I don't think so for now. Like it's getting better. I can figuring out all the problems. Figuring out all the problems that I have to deal with. Uh, yeah, and right now I think it's some kind of not anxiety, but like being afraid, uh, afraidness feeling. I don't know. It's a little bit hard to understand. I think, but yeah, I think I should talk to someone about it. Talk to a psychologist, but feeling afraid of someone. Um, hmm. But yeah, I'm very tired now, so just gonna sleep. Yeah. See ya.